Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Everything Classical Music live stream. This is our first scheduled show, scheduled rather than the previous week, which was our debut. I'm Anthony. Hello. And this is our co-host, Scott from the Pressing Menace. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good, really good. Scott runs the website, The Pressing Matters, and if you're not subscribed, you should be. Let's see. I think I have the right here. There's the address, and by all means, if you subscribe to that, he's already got almost 10,000 subscribers. He's doing extremely well because Scott puts out the most amazing videos on all sides of music, but very good ones on classical. So there's the let's go to the comments.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us tonight. I've actually got a ring down, and we're going to try and do this about an hour and 15 minutes. And we'd love your comments and your questions. And any question is cool. Doesn't matter if it's, which performance of a Tchaikovsky, the Nutcracker, would you like? Or what record should I buy next? Anything you like about classical music. And not just about vinyl. We know Scott and I love our vinyl. But I find these vinyl streams go on, and it kind of cuts out a lot of stuff. So we actually have things like compact discs to show tonight.
Ooh.
And of course, if you'd like to come up, and in a minute or two, I'll put up a link. And by all means, come up and hang out, as they say, and share some records. I know Scott's got some wonderful covers to show tonight.
Yeah.
But first, I think what we'll do when we start is there are a lot of CDs that are released by all the major companies, but mainly for streaming. And I've got some streaming for you later. But I want to talk just about the vinyl releases because there are so few of them. And I'm going to put something up on the screen, if I can manage that on this technological stuff. There it is.
Still learning.
Yeah, I was sharing.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Let's see if we do it that. There we go. That way. We can do it that way. No, we can't. Let's try that. So let's leave it there. That's the new release from Impex. And let me just put the banner on for you so you know how to get it. Impex.
What a wonderful choice.
Well, we can talk about that. AB runs Impex Records and Elusive Disc.
Yeah.
This is up for pre-order right now. It's a mono record, mono release from 1957. And I think this is the information. Yeah. It's available on an all analog LP for the first time in almost 50 years on RTI's HQ180 for the first time. This is mastered by Bernie Grunman from a 1-to-1 flat transfer of the original master tape. For non-vinyl guys, that means it's really good. So Bernie Grunman is wonderful for classical music.
Yes.
We have a lot, Scott and I have a lot of them. And the Heifetz is a very interesting choice. A.B. Fawn has spoken to the Heifetz family and to get, obviously, permission to do the release. And this has taken about 18 months to 2 years to get to the press.
Wow.
And she, first of all, she's a wonderful lady who runs Impex, and she is thrilled with it. But more importantly, Scott, the Heifetz family are thrilled with it.
That's great.
Yeah, what she told me. So that's really
good. I was going to say, I didn't realize that they would take the time to go through the Heifetz family for approval.
Well, I think it's the kind of stuff that, it makes for, happy bedfellows. They're happy, baby's happy. And of course, we know that for the most part with Impex, the customer's going to be happy because I've reviewed so many of them. Anyway, this is on its way. It's available for pre-order now. We don't have any financial, no links for you. Just if you go to Impex, you can pre-order it. Again, remind you, it's mono. It can be played on a stereo rig. It's cut with a stereo lathe, but it is mono.
Right.
I'll be playing it on my mono setup. I'm getting one for review, and we'll review it, a full review at Audiophilia. And it may even make our dream list, which we updated today. Here's our dream list. If you want to go there, there's the link. And we updated it today with some wonderful, wonderful records of all types, not just classical.
It's funny. I remember seeing that record in my thrift store days. I came across it several times and I was like, oh, mono. I don't, this is before I knew much about mono and how it, you know, some of these recordings are very good and very important too. And I just bypassed it. I don't know much about that particular record. I never had it.
Audiophile Man. Oh, and I love your ID, Dark Side of the Moon. My favorite album. I can't believe it. Forget Beethoven and Brahms and Mozart. Oh man, looks like a really nice release. Audiophile Man, I really think so. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a winner. I did listen to it today. Not on Cobos, which we'll talk about that in a little while. I did it. I did Apple Music just through my Sonos system, and boy, it's a beautiful record. It's got Castel Novo Tedesco, a piece by him. He's a Mexican composer. It's very, very good. He's Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
And a few other, some other pieces, not very well known, but kind of like in the Baroque vein, but with a modern twist, modern harmonies.
Interesting.
I can't wait for it to come. So it's pre-ordering now.
Is it solo violin?
Yes, with continuo. Do you know what continuo is?
Please explain.
Well, I'll do my best. I'll give you the flute player who doesn't know what he's talking about version. Continuo is usually the bass line or the harmony line that Baroque composers put in underneath, and so it would be keyboards, and it could be cello, keyboards, harpsichord, and I think on this one it's organ.
Oh,
so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm planning to get that one too, just so because I want to support.
Mike, Impex has such unique selections. Has anyone done an audiophile ratio of a mono RCA? Interesting. I know Mike's into the monos. I'm not sure. You know, Mike, we have a very small window, and I know that people, you know, every stream gets, you know, we have 12. Nice to see you guys. But, you know, you get 100, 150. It's the same 150 people watching every stream, buying every release. So we have to kind of expand our horizons, I think, a little bit. And unfortunately, an Impex release of a Heifetz, very esoteric, very aesthetically beautiful mono, I'm not sure how well it's going to sell. As soon as you hear it, people will be, I want it. But it's really we're going to get it. We're in a narrow category. Just put a couple of comments up.
That's so true.
Hey Ray, hello from New Zealand. How are you? I know I got messages from Loki and from some of our team at Audiphilia that, do you know what time it is in England? And so we're really sorry about the time. This is our regular schedule, 5 p.m. once a week for an hour. So I'm sorry, but you can always watch it on the stream later.
Yeah.
What happens, Scott? Does it go and people can watch it?
Yes. Yeah, I watched the replay almost immediately.
Oh, great. Oh, you watched yourself on the replay? Mm-hmm. What an ego.
It was so fascinating. I had to watch it again.
And here is our friend, Arman Khachaturian.
Yes.
Arman, I will tell you, Khachaturian wrote one great tune, the theme from Spartacus, which is, that's a hell of a tune. If you're in, that's a great one for people who don't know anything about classical music. Stream the Love Theme from Spartacus by Khachaturian. It'll set you free. It's magnificent. Want to get a recording? Vienna Phil, conducted by the composer. Or EMI, LSO, conducted by the composer. Anyway, I digress. Khachaturian had a lot of music is a bit iffy, but he had a cousin named Karan Khachaturian, and his music is almost unplayable. It's not very good. But Khachaturian is the theme from Spartacus. Anyway, Arman, welcome, and it's nice to see you again. And here's another fellow, Paul Diaz. Hello from Santa Cruz, California. Hi, Paul. How are you? Do you know Paul, Scott?
No, I don't think so.
No. So we've got an Audiophile Man just meant, thank you. Dark Side of the Moon is definitely great. When Ian Kershaw put it on for me, And I'd heard about it, of course, since it came out, but I never listened to it like a bloody idiot. I put it on my system. It literally blew my brains out. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe what I was hearing. It's so remarkably creative, so remarkably beautiful. Are you a fan of that record? I know
Yes.
it's classical, but
No, I'm a big fan of it.
you
I
are.
love Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Here's our great friend, Loki Tio.
Yes.
Oh, what a guy. So supportive. I listened to the Vitali in the crowd today, as it happens. Hard to say no to that with Impex's reputation. Yeah, Loki, I listened to the same thing, the Vitali. Isn't it lovely? Just a beautiful piece. I think once the reviews come out, um, maybe we'll get AB to send you one, Scott, so you can do one on your channel. I think you would do that justice. AB, are you listening? Please send one to Scott.
I would love that.
Scott would do it real justice. I'm gonna do a written review, but Scott will do a video review.
Let me say something about that. I think, for our community of classical vinyl aficionados, supporting a release like that is really important, because they are kind of going into a territory that's, a little bit off the beaten path as far as audiophiles are concerned. They all know hi-fits, but they gravitate towards the stereo RCAs and stuff like that. This is something that I think we should all try to support, hopefully, so they can get the message and keep making more along this line.
Armand actually saw Gustavo Dudamel at the LA Phil to catch Turian. It was a treat. I think I'm going to be going down to LA in May with Jan, my wife, to see Michael Tilson Thomas. He's not well. The man is remarkable. That he's had serious brain cancer, like the one that's incurable, and he's been battling it for a year and still conducting, like Mahler 5 all over the world. The man is remarkable. I have so much respect for that man. So I hope you enjoyed the concert. Dudamel is wonderful with the LA Phil.
He did so much for Miami Beach. It's just amazing.
It's amazing. Carl Sigmund. Hello, Anthony. Thank you, Carl. Let me introduce Carl Sigmund, Scott Wilson. Carl is the managing director. I just promoted him again, Jen. Carl is the managing editor of Audiophilia.
Okay.
We've been working together for about 20 years. He's a remarkable human being. He is the head of financial engineering at Columbia University. He's a genius, and he's going to win the Fields Medal or Nobel one day. But he's also an incredible music lover, and he writes beautifully and keeps me on my toes, bosses me around consistently. Ray, I got into classical in the 80s through the gateway drug that was Nigel Kennedy's The Four Seasons. Oh boy, does that open up a can of worms. Well, first of all, great record, Ray, to get into music. Have you heard Nigel Kennedy, Scott?
No.
Well, just a quick Nigel Kennedy story. Fine violinist. Okay. But my wife's laughing because she knows the story. When he was about 15, he spoke like that. My name is Nigel Kennedy. I play the violin. I'm rather good, right? And he had this posh accent. He studied, I think it's the Purcell School or the Menuhin School in London when I was at Trinity, and he was a wunderkind. Amazing. Then he got some PR guy behind him, and all of a sudden he started having an Aston Villa soccer scarf on his violin, and became very working class. I talk like that, I like the violin, I like Mozart. And so my friend Tom Bowes, a great violinist, check out his CDs. Tom and I were Trinity together, and Tom went up to him one day and said to Nigel, it's Nige. Hi, Nige, how are you? I love the playing. What kind of violin do you have? He goes, it's a wooden one, isn't it? That's the kind of guy he is. Anyway, sorry, Rick. You got me up to a Nigel Kennedy story, but he's a fine violinist, and that's a very famous recording. Let's have a look.
Okay. What label was that released on? Do you remember?
EMI. He was an EMI artist.
Oh, okay.
Here's a nice one from Audiophile Man. I love your ID. I love the name and I love the picture. If we can have the Beatles in mono and the Rolling Stones in mono, I have them both. Do you have those? Do you have both of those, Scott?
I don't have the Stones in mono. No, I passed on that. But
how dare you? It's
I
wonderful.
know.
We can certainly have Heifetz in mono.
When I really became aware of it, it was the colored vinyl edition, and I said, I don't want colored vinyl.
Oh well. Anyway, that's.
But Beatles in mono, I bought 2 of them at the time they came out. Yeah.
Okay, here's from Loki. Nigel Kennedy, who evolved into punk rock Aston Villa supporter, ne'er-do-well. It worked for a time. It did. He was big in England on the talk shows for like 10 minutes. Loki's right into it. He knows what's going on. And
Yeah.
this is from Paul. Speaking of MTT, for those who don't know, MTT is the PR name for Michael Tilson Thomas, very fine conductor, LSO, San Francisco Symphony, beloved at the orchestras he plays. But the poor man has not been well. But like I said, he's fighting through it, and we're thinking about you, Mr. Thomas, Maestro.
Mm-hmm.
Have either been to Davis Hall in San Francisco? I find it to be a bit on the dark side, no matter where I sit. Scott, have you been to Davis in San Francisco?
No, I have not.
Interesting hall. It's got a lot of people mention the acoustics a little bit dark, and when they do recordings there with MTT and also with Blomstedt before that, they had to take out all the seats and do this stuff. Like I was talking today about this recording. Scott, do you mind if I bring up a record?
Sure.
Okay, I just want to just talk about this release. Just take Paul's thing off. This is the William Steinberg Boston Symphony box set, the George Gramophone recordings from
Yes,
the original source, and they're wonderful. They're 3 LPs. Let's see on the back. I think I showed them briefly last week. One is the Hindemith. Let me take them out so I can show you. This is the Hindemith with that incredible painting on the Matthias Grunewald, a German painter that's the opera on which the symphony is based, Matthias the painter. This is an incredible record. And I had a message out to Rainier Maillard of Emil Berlin, who recut this, that when they repress it, and they will repress it, get it sold out immediately, to do them individually so people can buy them, because this is the star of the set. It's a great record. It's been in great need. I've had the original since it came on. The Mathis de Mal, if you don't know the Hindemith, is a wonderful symphony. The concert music for strings and brass was written for the Boston Symphony for the 50th anniversary. It's absolutely magnificent. And the recut by Sidney Meyer and by Rainier Maillard, who did the remastering, is remarkably good. The second one is not so good. It's very good. It's a perfectly acceptable Zarathustra.
Yeah.
Some of the reverb, I think, Scott, if you're listening to it at the beginning, after the world riddle theme, the dum bum bum, then you get the timpani coming in. Well, the great man on timpani is Everett Firth, better known as Vic Firth, yes, owner of the company Vic Firth. Vic was a longtime timpanist with the Boston Symphony. He was the master. And he hits the living crap out of the timpani on the solo. Unfortunately, it's only forte to fortissimo, but it's like triple F to so loud, the kettle rings and the symphony hall rings. And it's effective, but it's not musical. I shouldn't really say that because he's an incredible player. But it does really strain the recut, the remastering. But other than that, it's a very fine performance, very good. The Boston Symphony played, in their sleep. It's wonderful. This, though, is very good. I've also had this original since it came out. This is Die Planeten, The Planets by Holst. And all my reviews are up at Audiophilia. I reviewed each of them individually. I don't like reviewing sets. And that is almost as good as the Hindemith. Not quite. Again, some of the reverb in Symphony Hall is when people forget about these halls like the Concertgebouw and Symphony Hall, that when there are no patrons, it's very boomy. Like during the pandemic, Concertgebouw used to do concerts and there was nobody in the hall and it was not very good. As soon as there are people in, it's all balanced. Anyway, I highly recommend the original source. This one is coming. It's the Carrie Ann one doing the 4 last songs with Gundula Yanovitz is sold out. This is the original. I'm going to give to my other nephew, Keith, who's just getting into classical music, a wonderful firefighter hero. So he's going to get that. And I'm going to get the reissues coming February the 6th. And I'll give it a full review. So what about the original source? Are you going to get into that, Scott?
I only have gotten into one of them so far. I just wanted to try one, and that was The Rite of Spring from the first batch. I reviewed it. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a well done job for sure. But the recording, I wasn't that familiar with these recordings from this time period, from this source. So it was a little bit different than most of the things that I was collecting, like from Decca, RCA, and EMI. It's a different kind of sound.
Well, yeah, it's excuse me, that's better. The Stravinsky Abbado were recorded at Fairfield Hall, which is the best hall in London. It's in Croydon, dumpy area of London, but the hall is good. I really like the Abbado. When I was in London, like a lot of my professors are in that orchestra in that recording.
No.
Yeah, and yeah, Larry Sanders on piccolo, second piccolo, and a few other things. And I liked it, but I gave it a great review. It made the dream list. But you know, everyone has a different opinion. Hey, Nick, Nick's on a couple of other streams. Wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
Hey guys, I played timpani in high school for marching and concert band. How do you march with a timpani, Nick? Yeah. Got to meet Vic numerous times. Our percussion teacher Neil Larrabee worked for Vic Firth. Great story, Nick. It's wonderful. Vic Firth, yeah. Audie Farman has to go, but we'll watch the rest later. Ciao. See you, Audie Farman. Okay, here's a question for us. Can you read it, Scott?
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have an elementary question about conducting an orchestra. How does a conductor communicate their interpretation of the score? Does the conductor rewrite the score to an extent? Maybe another way?
Any thoughts on that, Scott?
No.
No problem.
That's
okay, I'll try and
you need to answer that one.
Danny, I'll try and Dan, I think it is. I'll try and explain it just briefly. It's all about two things. It's all about the eyes. I've seen some of the world's technicians, do silly things, but they're great musicians. The music just emanates from them, and they're authentic. A lot of conductors are in it a little bit like the VC. Let's get the subs. Let's get the views. Don't be in it for that kind of stuff. Be in music for music. So when a conductor gets up in front of an orchestra, respects the players because they have a much harder job than the conductor. And you respect the orchestra. You're firm because trust me, they'll take advantage. So you're firm. But you express the way you want it, the music. You're firm about that. You listen to people during the break, never during the rehearsal. But as Simon Rattle says, ladies and gentlemen, all I ask for tonight are your eyes. That's all he says. Because if you have the eyes, that's where all the expression is. And you know exactly what the conductor wants. There are a lot of interviews on YouTube. I hope I'm answering your question, Danny. Of conductors, great conductors, and how you discuss it with, don't talk too much. One of my problems. So, for example, Sir George Schulte would have a pad of paper, and he would run it through it, rehearse it, write stuff down, do it again over those mistakes, fix it, get ready for a show. So that's it, Dan. So that's it. So the conductor, does he rewrite the score to an extent? Not really. No, a good conductor is totally at the service of the composer. The composer is everything, and the composer's wishes. Now, for example, on that Zarathustra, I was telling you, I wrote about in the part after the it's getting into the weeds a bit. In the part after the fugue, Science and Learning, they're inverted diminished chords, and it goes down hurly-burly, but it's not supposed to go that fast. Steinberg whips it up straight away, bang. So he's rewritten the score, but it's very effective. So you can do interpretive touches, but you can't really, add a tuba when there's no tuba written. For example, in Brahms symphonies, Brahms Symphony No. 4, you can't really add a tuba. He's doing what he wants with contrabassoon. That would be naughty. Hope that answers your question.
Didn't Stokowski do stuff like that?
Some people, I'll lay my cards on the table. People are charlatans. I think he's a charlatan. I think that he was conducting when he was 90 and deserves our respect and has done some very good recordings. But there's the famous one. What's the one he did for the reissue Classic Records?
The Rhapsodies.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I gave it to my nephew, but people rave about that record.
Yeah. Maybe if you haven't heard the scores,
like the Abado, right? Everyone's different. Here's from Ray. Why don't you read this one? Because this is right up your alley.
Oh, I know that the Royal Ballet AP is so well loved. It costs a lot to New Zealand. Is it really worth it? In my opinion, yes. Yes, it is.
Me too, Ray. It's a remarkable recording from Kingsway. It's beautifully played. The music is lots of fun. It's really wonderful.
We've both talked about it, Anthony, in print and maybe in a video. And I did a full video on it. I absolutely love that recording. It's one of the finest. If you really love the RCA series from Analog Productions, it's one of the better ones for sure.
Oh yeah, I love mine. I've got the older one, but there's a new one out. I think it's been repressed. Does Chad have it? I think it's $200 though. I think it's very expensive.
What, a 45?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
No, I have. I don't know if you remember. I have 2 classic 45 box sets, so I don't need another 45 of that. I personally don't like the 45 for that record. It's just already, it's already, like I said in this video, there's already small chunks of this ballet music, and then you're cutting them again. It's really a continuity problem with the 45. So, if I know it's expensive to get it to you, I would go with the 33. Absolutely.
There you go. This is from Paul. Paul's a public school music educator. Paul, you're going to heaven. It's the hardest job you'll ever do in your life, as you know. What am I telling you for? And even within experienced ensembles, they respond so much to the eyes and facial expressions. Even more so young people, young orchestras, young bands. Absolutely. This is my friend, John Stratton of Pure Fidelity. I'm going to send a link out. So if John wants to come up, let's do the invitation here. Copy. And first I'm doing this. By the way, we had the Australian gentleman last week, and it was wonderful. So John, if you just put that into your and then come on up, and I can get you on the screen, and we can talk a little bit about turntables. I know that Scott's got some beautiful covers to show. Scott's got an incredible collection. Device not connected, John. You need to connect your device.
I was digging through my vault today, looking for something, a needle in a haystack, and I came across some pretty covers that you don't see too often. So I'll show those in a little while. Also, a bunch of tapes.
Well, John's having some trouble getting connected, so let me just see if I can do anything here. It says banned from the studio. I don't want to ban you, John. John, try to see if I. Oh, there it is. At the stage. There it is. Hey, John.
Oh, hello.
Hi, John.
John. There we are.
Hi.
How are you, John?
I'm good.
John, this is Scott Wilson from the Pressing Matters.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, John. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just going to move my computer.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm just going to move my computer.
There you go.
Move my computer so I don't look like I'm on Mars here.
You're in your studio. Let me just introduce John to everybody. This is John Stratton of Pure Fidelity. Let me just share if I can share where I think I've got it here. Yeah. Let's try that. Yeah. Can you see that? That's John's website,
Mm-hmm.
Pure Fidelity. Let's just take that off there. Pure Fidelity, and it's purefidelity.ca. And John makes the most exquisite, brilliant turntables. And I'm just going to get rid of that for a second.
Wow, what you glimpse in that picture looks awesome. Beautiful.
Can you see the table behind me?
That
one.
yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
That's quilted maple. That's John's Harmony Mark II, the Pure Fidelity table, which is just a remarkably good table. And it's got an Origin Live Enterprise Mark IV, which John suggested, which makes it's an expensive table, but it's absolutely wonderful. It's a life-affirming table. So, John, just tell us a little bit about the history of your company.
Just one thing here. I'm not sure if it's happening on your end. I'm getting Anthony talking, and then I hear it again about 30 seconds later.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm not sure what setting you have.
Oh.
Are you using a microphone?
If you check the microphone, you kind of have to do. You go to your mic settings, in the settings, go to mic and say, and then there's a cancellation, echo cancellation. Check that. Can you hear it? Can you hear that echo?
I can hear you guys. I didn't know I'd be on. I was just listening, so I hadn't.
Well, that's okay. We can hear you fine. You're not echoing. We'll be quiet, and if you could just introduce your company.
I was just listening, so I hadn't.
Well, that's now okay. We can hear you
fine. You're not actually there.
We'll be quiet, and if you could just introduce your company.
I was just listening, so I hadn't.
Wow.
Now we can hear you fine. You're not
actually there.
We'll be quiet, and if you could just introduce your company.
I was just listening, so I hadn't.
Well, John, we're getting lots of. We're getting lots of feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you press something that started that? It was fine.
Sorry, I'm an analog guy.
We're getting lots of feedback.
Yeah.
Did you press something that started that? It was fine.
Sorry, I'm an analog guy.
Yeah, you keep repeating it. Did you? Okay. So what I think we'll do, John.
Hopefully, Joe that works for me is probably watching this and horrified.
Yeah.
Maybe try relogging on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just get rid of you for a sec, John. Come on, you poor John. Poor John.
Well, he designs beautiful turntables, though.
Absolutely magnificent. Just
wow.
Entry level Eclipse, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And then he does the harmony. Hey, look, here it is. It's this is Andrew. Hey, Andrew. Hi, team. Welcome back from Australia. Hey, some great questions. And this is from Angie. Hey, Angie. Thanks so much for coming on again and supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Hi, Angie.
And we will say hello to John for you. John was technically challenged. So Dat1, Phoenix, how much do his turntables range for? I don't know offhand. I know that one with the bass and the fabulous feet from Isoacoustics and an Origin Live arm. Not that one. That's the upgraded one. I think it's about 10,000 US. But it's an end of journey table. You know, I mean, you know, some people buy BMWs and Audis. Some people buy turntables. So you have to kind of choose your poison. But they're worth saving for. And Dat says, so excited for the stream. We're excited to have you, Dat. We've been thinking about this all day. I must admit, I was played all over the world, but I get a little nervous for these streams. Now, so we're going to take a break for a second, and my dear friend Scott is going to show some covers.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I today I had to take a deep dive into what I call my vault, and that is full of records from thrifting and so forth, stuff that's not in my permanent collection, but that I like to hang on to for whatever reason. And sometimes the reason is because of the cover art, but also interesting records. This one, I just love this artwork on this. Can you see that?
Beautiful. Anthems, Capital of the World.
Antheil.
Oh, George Antheil. Okay, got it.
Capital of the World. Yeah, rarely recorded, I think, pieces. And Banfield, The Combat, the Ballet Theater Orchestra conducted by Joseph Levine on Capitol.
Don't know that at all.
Yeah, it's really kind of
he writes
odd.
like this music mécanique Antheil, like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you know? I think I played a piece of it once.
Wow. These came on this label.
Oh wow, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh, Capital.
Capital, yeah. Capital FDS.
I will.
Look at the sleeve.
I will
Look at the envelope.
Try and get it so it's a full screen next time.
Oh, sure. So that was one thing I wanted to show you. Another one is we've talked about España a few times, right? And I found this. I don't have the jacket, but this is a World Record Club pressing of España.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's Australian, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I grabbed that when I saw that. And I came across this. I think you mentioned this in a previous video. Is this coming out in the original source series?
It's already been out. I had it, I reviewed it, sold it.
Okay.
It's good. It's very good. It's much better than the original. The original
okay.
Like to fiddle around too much.
Yeah. I haven't really listened to it deeply, so and I think you were talking about these different cycles of Beethoven. Is this a good one?
I think that's the 77 digital one. Look, anything Carrie Ann does with Beethoven, the orchestra, they play the hell out of it. It's just the recordings. The earlier ones, 63, are better, but they pale compared to Klemperer and the EMI as a recording. The orchestra itself is incredible. But
okay.
if I was going to buy them, I'd buy them on compact disc.
Yeah, I think that's mono, Petrushka.
Oh, wow.
I like the cover.
Yeah. Petrushka. That's the Ensemble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the playing is not that, it's a very difficult piece to play. And Ensemble takes it at a hell of a lick because I think he doesn't want to subdivide the 5/8 bars and the 7/8 and the 2/8. So the orchestra kind of has they play at it, but the recording, of course, is magnificent.
Yeah, I like whenever I see those mono Londons, I always pick them up. This is one of my only Columbia Magic Note pressings. We don't see them very much here.
Ray says, just keep that up for a sec, bud. In New Zealand, I have loads of World Record Club records. They can be a bit confusing as they often look like EMI, RCA, etc., but the label is different. There we have it from the New Zealand horse's mouth.
Okay. Yeah, this is, I don't know much about this interpretation, but how it rates against others, but
very
these are pretty rare around here. So, I mean, to find in the wild.
Good question coming up here, just to interject, Scott. From Armand, are there any recordings in mono that are worth looking out for? I find, Armand, that the chamber pieces, string quartets, I've just ordered the Budapest Beethoven quartet set in mono. They're wonderful. My friend John DeVore Fidelli, I'm not sure if he's watching, but he's an amazing guy. DeVore Fidelli speakers. John has an incredible aesthetic with his turntables and his cartridges. I remember he had a Bakelite mono cartridge, and he put on with his very, really good speakers before we were going out for dinner. And it was Mozart sextets, the Budapest Quartet on mono, and I just fell in love with it. So yeah, there are a lot of great ones on. I look for vocal recitals and and now you're just showing off, Scott.
Anthony, I fell in love with the stereo version of this. This is the mono.
Wow, you got them all. I've got Angie's sending me the esoteric, right, Ange? Sending me the esoteric.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give it a full review.
I can't wait to hear what you think about that.
So yeah, I'm on. I like for vocal recitals, Lisbeth Schwarzkopf, chamber string quartets. I love mono stuff. There's an immediacy about jazz and chamber music and solo recital, like high fits on mono.
Yes.
Really wonderful.
Yes.
And Menuhin, one of my old teachers there, Yudi Menuhin, was amazing on mono. Andrew says mono Starker and Milstein Bach. Jim Norris, who's sleeping right now, he wanted to come on. It's 3 o'clock in England. He just worships at Milstein's mono Bach recordings.
And you showed this in something recently, right?
I just got it.
Oh, okay. This is the London version.
London. Oh, okay. That old thing. That's not the mono, though, right? You're not going to rub my nose in it and say it's a mono.
No, it's pressed in the UK, same plate, same stamper as your Decca. Yeah,
Andrew has a good suggestion here. Toscanini RCA mono of pictures. I've never heard it, Andrew.
I haven't either.
Thanks for the recommendation. I'm sure it's. I mean, Toscanini, what a conductor. Amazing. Is that anything else, Scott?
Well, I found some tapes too.
Oh, look at this! Talk about showing off. Now he's got one of the greatest bluebacks ever.
Yeah, this is a 7.5 IPS reel. These back in the day were like a one step. Cost about the same as a one step.
They still do. Well, that's an exquisite recording, and the orchestra can play it. It's really good.
Very nice. And then I have some of the Rubinstein, and I just pulled a few just to show you. But these were plentiful when I started collecting these.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, and the Mercury ones are pretty good too. Oh, here.
You got what a collection.
Speaking of Stokowski, here's what we were talking.
That's the one.
The Wizard at Work.
I gave it to Ian, and I mean it's wonderful, but it's just the repertoire is not my cup of tea. And this is a fellow. You should check out his website, noted and archived. Hello, both.
Oh,
Cheers
yeah.
from LA. Hi.
Yeah.
Yes, I've watched a couple of your videos. Very nice, and it's nice to like I said, the more classical, the better. Scott and I were talking about it beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of these people on this vinyl community, that it's all about subs and views and all this nonsense, and they're not authentic. And what we're looking for is authentic people who love classical music, and for the reasons they want to learn about it. They got the bug. There's nothing like getting the bug for classical music and then going around and finding cheap mono records and learning from people. And we want to learn from you. So tonight, like for example, from Andrew, the Toscanini RCA, and also from Andrew, the mono Starker cello, which is amazing. But the Milstein Bach, I hadn't thought about that. Winterbro, hey bud. Milstein Prokofiev one is sublime in mono capital. There's another one for you, for the gentleman who was asking, for Armin. There's another one. So yeah.
Here's another one of those fabulously strange capital covers. Also a ballet theater, Joseph Levine, Gould Fall River Legend.
Jen, just pass me the planets out there. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me just interject one here for Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew, yes, this is the original planets that they based it on. I'm not sure who did the artwork. Isn't that the most incredible artwork? I know I'm glaring you there, but isn't that incredible?
Did they do it? Is it a foil finish?
Yes, I think it is. But it's foil finish. Thank you, sweetheart. But it's but Andrew, yeah, it's great. But the original was good. The worst one ever from Boston was the Michael Tilson Thomas's Rite of Spring, which is a shame, but it's an incredible performance with ridiculous spotlighting. But this one was very good. But the recut is better. It really is.
Remember I told you about, I think I showed you this off camera the other day. I might do a little comparison. I found two other pressings of this
That's it. That's audiophile old school.
Yeah, old school. This is the Philips original, and I found a Colombian pressing of it. Same
Oh,
performance.
now you're just showing off again, Scott Wilson.
And then the sequenza.
Oh man, that's amazing.
So, yeah, we'll have a review of that.
We had to study that in high school.
That's a fun record.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to show. Well, for now.
Here's another question. Could you read that for us, Scott? From Paul?
Do you have a favorite?
A middle school maestro.
Do you have a favorite Hindemith Mathis Del Mahler? I'm partial to Atlanta Levy on Telarc, looking for more versions.
Do you have? Well, the
only one I have is one I collected because it was on TAS's list a long time ago. I think it's the only one I have, and it's Ormandy.
Yeah, and that'll be very good. Except the Symphonic Metamorphosis, the viola score.
That's right. Yeah.
But if I was suggesting one, Milan Horvat, unknown conductor with the Leipzig Radio Symphony, is very, very good, and on turnabout, I think.
On turnabout, yeah.
Yeah, and the San Francisco Blanchet, it's okay. The Atlanta Levy is very good. I think anything on Telarc. I just wrote an article about whatever happened to Telarc. I mean, some incredible recordings. That's very good. But the Boston Symphony just, no one plays like them. And they play the hell out of those two pieces. And so, yeah, the Mathis, the Boston. And there's a question here, which is from speaking about DG, what's the matter with intermittent availability? Well, this is the problem with this this box set. It includes this incredible Hindemith, my favorite Hindemith. It's sold out immediately, and they're doing 2,500, I think, or 3,500 copies. And I don't know why. Getting a buzz, I don't know, but I know they're repressing the first lot, and so I'm sure they're going to repress this. But I've suggested to him, because we had so many complaints on our social media from Anthony, why we can't buy this? Why are you reviewing it for? So hopefully they'll reissue it soon. Just grab it. FOMO is gone, and Chad's favorite line, "Cry now or buy later," it's still around. But some things you have to kind of, you have to grab. And a suggestion for the Nocturnes by Arau. Arau is always a great choice. And Jeremy, hey Jeremy, how are you? Let's put Jeremy on. Jeremy Berman, hey Jeremy. Rubinstein or Moravec for the Nocturnes would be my recommendation. My great friend, concert pianist in Vancouver, Robert Saltman, was one of Moravitz's best friends, and he says that guy is the best kept secret in the world. Because it's in the Czech Republic, and he recorded on Superphone, and they were good recordings, but he was in the East, so to speak, and he's amazing. So yeah, Moravec is okay. So here's can either of you recommend a complete set of Chopin Nocturnes? I have the in-print DG, but I think I could do better. Any suggestions? I've got one, if you got one.
I particularly like the Rubinstein.
That's
I always have.
Can't go wrong. I mean, he just owns it.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other great performances, but Rubinstein owns the Nocturnes. I mean, he just does. And the recordings are good too.
Yeah. It seems like he was made to play those,
And
but I'm sure there's others great ones.
Horvat sounds Hungarian or Croatian. I'm not sure. Maybe someone Wikipedia him. Milan Horvat. And Armin has a great suggestion here. Samson Francois. Can't go wrong with him. I think ERC has done some Samson Francois. Maybe it's Dino Lepati. And then this Mario. Hey, Mario, how are you? De la Huerga. I like Marie-Joie Perez in the Nocturnes. I have those. I reviewed them for Audiphilia, the box set. She's wonderful. She's the most. She's retired, but she still gets scared on concerts. She's actually playing with the LA Phil next month. But this is, yes, Debussy. Well, There's only one. Do you have yours handy, the record? Remember it last week we showed it?
Which one?
Michelangelo?
Oh, I don't have it handy, no.
And no problem. Michelangelo, Debussy preludes, nothing like that. The speakers that I have behind, when I was reviewing them, the Borison 01 silver signatures, they're exquisite speakers. But what they do that a lot of speakers, or most speakers I've heard, can't do, is they get the essence of the intensity, not intensity, the intent of the performer, the gestalt of the performer. And that those Debussy preludes with Michelangelo on compact disc. And I realized what I was hearing. Like it was, I mean, all the audiophile tenors, live concerts, all that stuff was all there. But this was more than that. And so I called my wife in, who's got great ears and has a great sensitivity for classical music. And she sat down on my lap, actually, we were just listening. And it was the very, very one, Footsteps in the Snow. Just slow, chordal, beautiful. And she started playing. She looked at me, she went, I'm going to say a bad word here. Holy shit. And that's what these speakers can do. So that's what I'm very fortunate. I don't own them. They're on loan, 47,000 euros a pair. I can't afford them. So, but they're incredible.
That's a really interesting point about the rare occasion when you really hear the intention of the performer or the intention of the composer come across. It's something I've experienced a couple of times, not all the time though. And it's such a revelation when you hear that. You're like, oh, okay.
Well, it's got to be a perfect chain. The performer who knows how to do it, the recording, the engineer, the pressing, or the CD, whatever it is, Danny, I think it's Danny Gilson, confirmed. Milan Horvat, my fellow Croat. I'm ashamed to say I've never heard him. Don't worry. I don't think there's like 1 or 2 recordings out, but it's actually very good. I got it when I was a kid. I was a weird kid. I was like 15. I got this Hindemith record and the part, and it was very nice. Anyway, is that it for the recordings there, Bud? Your covers? Do you have any more? Or is that it?
Oh, well, no, I have these two. This one's wrapped in plastic. Let me pick this up. I don't know. I'm sure people have seen these before, but they're kind of nice to find in the wild. These are the Soria series box sets from RCA. This is the Messiah.
Beautiful.
And I have the Verdi Requiem as well.
Oh, the Reiner. Oh, look at that. Those boxes are gorgeous.
Yeah, they really are. Everything, inset artwork, the Skira printing from Switzerland for the booklets with tipped in art. They're really, really nice.
Read Andrew's comment.
Oh, yeah, I have one. That's the one I have, right? I showed you.
Think so. That's very nice.
Thank you, though. Yeah. Was that ever reissued?
I'm not sure. Armand, could you come up and show us the classical from Goodwill? Yes, we'd love to see them.
Oh, yes. I'd love to see that.
There's a link there. Just type the link in. Come on up and make sure you click on in the settings, echo cancellation. Mr. John Stratton couldn't get his crap together. It is a black art, this streaming. You have to be careful. Yeah, come on up, Armand. We'd love to meet you anyway. Angie says, Mono Angel Devoja and Klemper Philharmonia. Great suggestion, Angie. I've not heard, but I'm sure it's amazing. EMI. Andrew picked up the Messiah on Soria. Beautiful production. Oh, here he is. Okay, Armand. Armand, how are you?
Hey, gentlemen.
Nice. How are you, Armand? Nice to meet you finally.
Sorry, I freaked out my dog there. How are you guys doing?
How did the dog? Thank you so much for coming up. And it's as they say in the stream world, thanks for hopping on.
Thanks to you guys for doing this stream because there's just limited information on classical vinyl, so it's really valuable,
We're happy to do it. Like I said last week of the test stream, Scott and I, we go to these streams because we love all sorts of music, and it was Beatles, Stones,
Right.
Beatles, jazz, Beatles, and it just classical would get up and everybody goes stum, and then the people that did maybe didn't know enough about it. So we're happy to do it, and we're glad that you're here. So show us some records. What did you get?
Recently, I went to Goodwill a couple months ago, and I found a stack of Blueback London Stereophonic, and then a couple of Capital stuff.
Oh, cool.
And these were all I'll show in a bit, but these were all like on the back it says, you can't really see it, but in red it basically said demonstration, not for sale.
Right.
I think all of these came from like a radio station or something. But this is a 3-cornered hat, Argenta.
That's a rare one. That's a rare one.
They were like $3.99, so I couldn't. And if I hadn't watched your guys' videos, I would have ignored them. But this one I think is kind of rare. It's Holy record, and they all sound amazing.
What's he playing on that?
This is Paganini and Saint Saëns.
Another great
one.
secret. The loveliest man.
And then another Holy.
Oh my God.
Mendelssohn.
Drool.
You did well, my friend.
This bronze record, and then Espana, which I had a ORG of. So I'm gonna compare them and see how they sound. But
the comparison, come on up and tell us.
That's better because I found this guy.
Yeah, that's great.
And rare. I found this guy there.
Oh my God, that's rare.
And this Kogan record I mentioned last time. So this isn't the Testament. This is I think it's the first one.
I've never even seen that.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I mean, so I just want to thank you guys. This
Ray says, where was that Goodwill?
It was in Santa Clarita, and I usually don't go to Goodwill for records, but I mean, I'm so glad I did. And yeah, these are all like keepers,
Oh my God, you did.
Oh man, everybody is freaking out. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Scott knows far more about those questions than I do. My flabber is gassed. I can't imagine what Scott's thinking right now.
I've never seen that last one.
Yeah, I think
it's on RCA.
It's on RCA, and I think this is a mono, right? I think this is a mono. I don't think it ever came out on stereo. And I think
is it LM on the top right? LM.
It is the
LM.
mono.
Yeah, 2250.
Yeah, it's a mono.
Yeah,
that is an incredible find.
And I mean, they look perfect. There's nothing wrong with them.
Oh my God,
well, that's a once in a lifetime find. You got about 20 Grail records there.
I think so. And there was more of the London stuff, the Bluebacks. I think I put it in a pile to sell because I don't know.
Why don't you show us?
Yeah, I can pull them out. One second.
Yeah, we'll change your mind.
We'll send you the PayPal. Jan, can I buy some more records? No.
Those ones he showed are all top notch.
So this guy was in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's the stereo version.
Keeper. What do you think?
Keeper.
Yes. Oh, they're all keepers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This was in there. This is Tchaikovsky.
These are very rare records. I don't know the
by the way.
I have that one too, but it's really beat up. I can't tell you how good it is.
Another highly underrated conductor. He went to Chicago. They kind of ruined it. They wrecked him. They didn't like it.
Pictures at an exhibition.
Okay.
And again, these all have this like blue or red stamp on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see.
I can see it.
How much were these records each?
They were priced at $5.99, but on the day that I went, it was like a Goodwill. They do like a half off on a certain color tag. and it was on that day. So I got them for like $2.99 each.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, I wanted to thank you guys because I would have passed up on these. I would have thought they're just garbage and Goodwill. So
Can you read that comment?
it's time to buy a lot. I don't know.
If you're a classical vinyl guy, you hit the friggin' mother load, my friend. Like they are all world-class records. And if they're mint, they're probably very valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold on to these. I mean, maybe the ones I picked out. I mean, pictures at an exhibition. They just weren't maybe like my taste, I guess.
Yeah, I have that one too.
Or they were maybe a little beat up. So
that's a great record.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I think maybe when I played them, they were a little noisier than I would have liked, but they look really good.
Do you have some kind of cleaning system?
Yeah, I have a Humming Guru right there.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And so I ran all these through there, and then I re-sleeve everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to do. You guys.
Roy says, Ray says, I've never even held any of those. Me too. They're Scott. I mean, Scott's got the incredible collection. Scott, do you have any of those?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
I have the Campoli. I have both of the Campolis he showed. The España, the Pertushka. Yeah, I have most of them, but I've never seen the Kogan.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, as a jazz guy, I feel lucky, privileged to have found these,
Yeah.
Well, you should be very thankful. And what a great find. You're very lucky. Where are you based, Armand?
I live in Los Angeles.
That
was in Santa Clarita, which is in Los Angeles County.
You might want to visit the store again in the next couple of days.
They might.
They may have another batch to fill out.
Yeah, they had a lot of records for a Goodwill. It was a whole. So I don't know. Maybe
you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, thank you guys. I'll let you guys get back to the stream. I appreciate it again.
Armand, first of all, thank you so much for the great comments. Authentic and nice and kind and very informative. We learn a lot. Please come on as many times as you can and bring some more records. And I think I can say for everybody how much we appreciate seeing those incredible records tonight.
Thanks,
thank you so much, Alan.
Thanks, Scott.
All the
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So just before we sign off, just for our digital friends, I'd like to show a couple of compact discs. One on Telarc that I think you can get for cheapest chips. This is, if you don't mind, Scott, I'll just do this for a second. This is the Previn Vaughan Williams Second Symphony that I have on his final RCA with the LSO. It's very good, but this is better recording, even better performance. This is in the Lanto, the beautiful, beautiful Lanto London Sleeping at Night. It's absolutely spectacular on this recording. So that's a Telarc. If you want to hear the world's greatest cello sound, this is from my friend Angie, who you've seen tonight. This is the SACD from Esoteric. This is Martha Argerich on piano. Her playing is exquisite. And Misha Maisky, another incredibly well-kept secret, playing the Arpeggione Sonata. That cello sound, I've heard the stream of the regular Philips. I've heard the CD of the Philips. I've heard the recording, the vinyl pressing of the Philips. This SACD from Esoteric is probably the best cello sound. I'm including the Starker, Speaker's Corner, Chad's version. This cello sound is just spectacular and digital. So very, very good. And I'd like to throw a plug out to my friend, Brendan Heinz. I'm going to put on his web address here because he's doing some remarkable work. He owns Triptych, no financial things. This is Ralph Russo, who was a bass player in the Concertgebouw, doing 12 Fantasias for viola da gamba. And he is an amazing gambist. And it's a beautiful production. His playing is exquisite. And they're by Telemann. And Telemann wrote them. He was friends with Bach. He lived in Hamburg and he needed to make some money. So we did like a subscription series. So you wrote one and we bought them. Anyway, that's fantastic. On Triptych, see if you can see that. There it is, Triptych. And the other one on Triptych is someone who's become a good friend of mine. She's a cellist. That's Brendan's wife. Her name is Maya Friedman. She's a Russian cellist, but they live in Holland. This is a modern piece. This is not squeaky gate music. This is incredibly powerful, dramatic modern music by Jan Peter de Graaf. It's called The Forest in April, and I highly recommend it. My wife, Jan, she's not a fan of that kind of progressive free jazz, even avant-garde classical music, but it is really beautiful. So those 4 CDs I can highly recommend for our digital friends. If anybody's interested, that's it. That's their website there. They do vinyl pressings too, but digitally based and really beautiful. And let's go back to the comments just briefly before we sign off.
It's nice that Esoteric is dipping into the Philips catalog.
Yes.
That was a Philips release, right?
Beg your pardon?
That Esoteric one that you showed is a Philips release, right?
Basic bog standard Philips CD, but the way they did it for the Esoteric. I mean, the Esoteric SA CDs are wonderful. That is especially wonderful. This is from Matt. Hi guys, great stream. Thank you, Matt. I'm rather new to the classical vinyl community, but I found Argo recordings to be the best. Your thoughts, Scott?
Yes, I'm a collector of Argo as well. I love them. Absolutely beautiful recordings in some great spaces. The churches that they record in just add a wonderful ambience to those recordings.
They record in St. John Smith Square, a lot of them, which is a concert hall I played a lot in London. And I think I spoke about this on another stream. But if you want to get a really great Argo, they're amazing because the standard of the Academy St. Martin de Fields is very, very high. Get the American music, Barbara Adagio for strings, and other short American pieces. And they recorded it early in the morning. And St. John Smith Square is a beautiful hall right near Westminster. And you have to walk along the embankment to get there and then turn right into the square. Let's see if we can get this into the square. And one day I was listening to this recording and I'm thinking, what is that sound? It's not like the Kingsway Rumble. It's really, really, really low. And I couldn't hear it on these speakers. On my Alta Audio FRM2, which have the very, very low bass, 29 hertz, I'd hear it. I don't know, what the hell is that? I remember what it was. Just by when you turn in, there's a set of lights. And early in the morning, they call them heavy goods vans, taking fruit, veg everywhere. And they would stop at the red light and rev their engine as they go, a very low, quick rumble. And it was coming through into the church, the hall, St. John's Square. So if you get that record and you want to check your bass out, we don't do subwoofers, but actually if you have a subwoofer, it'll be incredible. Anyway, Scott, anything else to say before we close off? We've been going.
No, that was an amazing night. I'm so glad that Armin came up.
Wow.
Records.
Armin, I should just tell you a quick story. Very quick, funny story about John Stratton, who you saw earlier. And then John's writing here, the Kingsway Rumble. We're testing out his turntable, and I put on the Martinov Shostakovich 1 classic records.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And about 32 bars in, you hear the Kingsway Rumble. So, and it's very good because John's incredible turntables are picking them up. So he's standing there. We just met. And all of a sudden, he's like, I said, "Oh my God, John, listen to that rumble." And he looked at me, he almost fainted. New reviewer, new guy, just met him, and now he's complaining about the rumble on my turntable. So this is from, just before we go to read some of the comments, from Dan again. Argo seems to have that lush string sound like many Deckers.
Mm-hmm.
I recently found a sealed copy of the Mental Octet. It sounds very good. Oh yeah, for sure. This is from Charles R. Biggs. Thank you, gentlemen. This is very useful, enjoyable. Well, thank you, Charles. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
And my partner in crime, Carl Sigmund. Well done, gentlemen, Anthony and Scott. Carl, next time, I know you're in Indonesia right now on a sabbatical, but coming up, we'll talk some equipment.
Yes, I'd love that.
Another one from Nick. Oh, Nick, he's such a nice person. Thank you, Anthony and Scott. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, guys. Another one. Thanks. Vince and Mike. Hey, Mike, how are you? Thanks for coming on. The Zinman Barber on Argo is outstanding. Zinman. I don't know that one. Are you talking about the Zinman? Oh, Dave. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, very good. Great. Okay. Well, I think that's it, folks. Thank you so much, Scott. As always, a huge pleasure. Parting
Thank you.
thoughts?
No, I just can't wait till next week.
Well, I'm glad we and hopefully John Stratton, calling John Stratton. Could you get your technical stuff sorted out so we can have you on, so we can tease you about the Reagan-Naya turntable?
Yeah, maybe we can work on that this week with him, so we can.
Yeah,
make sure
I'll do a run with John.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, thank you so much. We've been on for almost an hour and 15 minutes. We're going to try and keep it at that time so we don't bore you to death. You know, sometimes these streams go on for like 7 hours.
No.
And that's fun. But we really appreciate, importantly, everybody who came on tonight and supported. The people watching, we had about 32 people at the top. We appreciate you coming and spending time with us, because there's other streams you can see. And most importantly, when you're commenting, the authentic interaction is really what makes us great. And come with your questions. I didn't get through half this rundown. We've got lots of things for you next week. So we'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night.
All right. Good night.